Hello and welcome to another episode of the iGoldrush Report, where you learn all about domain names, what to do with them, and how to make money with them. I'm Paul Goldstone, CEO and owner of iGoldrush.com, and I hope you enjoy this episode.
Hi, I'm Morgan Linton, and welcome to the iGoldrush Special Report. Today, what I want to talk to you about is a topic that I get asked about all the time. It's one of the probably hottest topics in the domain investing space when it comes to selling domain names, and that is how to find end user buyers. So I wanted to give you a few different techniques for finding end user buyers, and before I do this, I want to give you a disclaimer, which is, first off, every domain is different and every buyer is different. And second off, it really comes down to pricing and timing more than anything else. And this means that the price that you're quoting has to be some reasonable price. In general, if you're emailing someone and go, hey, do you want to buy my domain name? You really can't be expecting six figures. If you want to sell a name in the 6 or 7 figure range, there are a lot of names that are worth that amount. Do that on inbound inquiries. People that are coming to you and saying, hey, I want to buy your name. Trying to get someone out of the blue to buy a name that may not be planning on spending money on a domain or may not be a domain investor, and trying to get them to spend even $100,000 is pretty hard to do. In general, for end user buyers, the sweet spot is really between $2,500 and $25,000. And once you get above that, the liquidity changes dramatically. So anything you want to do in a higher range, great, that's awesome. Definitely sell those. Just stick with inbound offers. When you're doing outbound, when you're trying to contact someone and go, hey, this domain name could do great things for your business, what you really want to be doing is focusing on a lower range and names you're willing to sell at a lower price. Now, I'm not saying you have to sell them for $200 or $300. You can do that, but I think in the end, when you do things like that, you don't necessarily get paid as much as you should for your time. But between $2,500 and $25,000, that's really the sweet spot. That's what I look at when selling to end users. So how do you find end user buyers? First off, you want to identify someone that isn't currently buying and investing in domain names. Okay, a domain investor like myself, or like probably those of you watching this video, are people that want to buy domain names wholesale. And just like I wouldn't go to a Costco and try to sell them something, you're not going to want to do the same thing to a wholesaler or a domain investor. So you want to find someone that, first off, is actually currently spending money advertising for the terms in your domain name, or is currently trying to rank well for the terms in your domain name, so they may see some value there. So the first thing I do when looking for an end user buyer is to go into Google and type in the keywords in my domain and see which ads show up on the side. And then I look at which of those ads actually match the keywords in my domains. Those are the ones I want to go after first. And what you'll do is you'll plug it into a tool like Domain Tools. I highly recommend that you spend the $50 a month for a Domain Tools Pro account. If you're serious about finding end user buyers, you really need the full-scale Domain Tools account, because you want to understand not only who it is that owns that domain that you're actually going to be emailing, but also how many other domains they own. You may want to look at the history of some of those names. It's just the tools that you really need for finding end user buyers. And then you'll email them, and rather than sending them some long sales letter, anyone that's out there looking for, like, I need a great sales letter, like, don't send a sales letter. If you send somebody an email that says, like, I own this domain, it is a premium domain, and the value of this name is X because this service said so, or it will help your business and you're currently spending a lot of money on marketing and this will reduce your cost. Any of that stuff just sounds really salesy, and in general is not going to get as good a response rate. It's just simply saying to someone, hi, I own this domain name. I was planning on doing something with it, or maybe, hey, I'm an investor and I was planning on selling it but didn't end up working out. Now I'm looking to sell it. You can decide whether you want to attach a price or not, and then see if they get back to you. That's really, I'd say, kind of like the first list you want to go after. Maybe there's like 3 to 5 people that you find that are advertising for that term on Google. If you find that no one's advertising for that term on Google, the keywords in your domain might not be as useful or interesting as you think they are. So you may want to look at a different name. You really want names where people are actively advertising for those terms. The next place that I would look is page 2 and page 3 of Google. So look at people that are using those keywords within the title tag of their sites. So you go to page 2 or 3 of Google, and suppose your domain name is, hardwarestores.com, and maybe it's geo-targeted. Let's say it's Los Angeles hardwarestores.com, and you go to page 2 and you find someone that is advertising around being a great hardware store in Los Angeles, and you see them in the middle of page 2. They may want to be on page 1, and your name may have some value to them. Probably not hundreds of thousands of dollars, but if you say, hey, I've got this domain name for sale, are you interested, and they get back to you, I recommend then you hop on the phone with them, kind of talk things out and see where you guys might be able to strike a deal. In some cases, you'll be able to really help them save a lot of money, but you're really not going to want to explain that in the email. You're going to want to explain that once you're actually talking to them, once you've validated there's an interest. So you've got people advertising on Google, you've got people on page 2 of Google. And kind of my third tip for finding end user buyers would be to do essentially the exact same logic I just went through, but apply this to Bing. So go on to Bing and do a search. See who's advertising there and see who's on page 2 or 3 of Bing. That's really the best places to look for end user buyers. And that's where you're going to find people that are currently paying to advertise for those terms. Now, kind of my last tip would be to use the Google AdWord Keyword Tool, which is a really awesome tool to find out how much people are essentially paying to advertise for particular terms. So you can see how valuable your keywords are. If someone's paying $1 per click for your keyword, they may be spending thousands of dollars a month. Now, the way to validate that is to use another really cool tool called SpyFu. That's kind of hard to say. I'm not going to say that 3 times fast. Really cool tool called SpyFu. There we go. 2 times fast. And SpyFu will kind of give you an estimate of how much money someone is spending advertising for a term. In general, not all domain names are great for end users because some of your domain names, I'll just be honest, suck. And so you're not going to want to sell them to people because people aren't going to want to buy them. So if you do a search on Google and you find that no one's advertising on the side for it, you do a search on Bing and you find that no one's advertising on the side for it, and you look up the CPC and it's like 10 cents, sorry, like your name may just be better off with you doing something incredible with it, like you had maybe planned to do it in the beginning. Otherwise, it might not be worth much. The names that really sell to end users are ones where people are already spending tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars a year advertising for those terms, and you're going to save them money by getting them a domain name that's going to give them direct navigation traffic and maybe give them a little edge ranking in search. But be genuine, be realistic, don't send some long sales letter, and don't ask for 6 figures for your name. If you have a name that you think is worth 6 figures, awesome. Field inbound offers, people that are coming to you that go, hey, I really want this name. You got to find people that already have that need because the timing is everything. When it comes to a 6-figure budget, it's got to be people that are ready to buy that name, not people you're catching off guard with a potential opportunity. So, this is Morgan. Once again, iGoldrush Report. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the iGoldrush Report. If you have any questions or comments or any other topics you'd like discussed, please visit our website at www.igoldrush.com, and we look forward to hearing from you.